Hello YouTube, I am Mark Luke from Crazy Bros Gaming Entertainment. I'm here with my first tutorial on Mcreator. One of the many things I have tried to create is a grass block that will grow to another block, just like vanilla Minecraft. And I'm going to show you the basics on how that would be done. So you want to add a new mod element and create a new block. Well, you want to create a texture first, but I did that ahead of time. Dirt. YouTube. Dirt. You want to set Sorry about that. You want to set resistance to 3. Leave hardness as 2. Take whatever tab you have, if you have a tab. Set this to shovel. Grass. For just a sound on step. Then ignore everything else. And I made a mistake. 1 second. I'll need to go in here. Mcreator has a glitch on me where I have to undo that, and then I gotta recompile. Sorry about that. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, now that's finished, we'll go to create a new block once again. I am sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I keep messing things up like that. YouTube. Grass. Also, that one thing I said I messed up on, it's not you guys have to worry about, it's only with my computer. Where I had to manually close a client that I had loaded in the background. Alright. This looks alright. Don't set this just yet. I found if I need to do this last. So leave everything as is except for resistance 3. You need that. And ignore everything else. Once this is done compiling, I'm going to go ahead and load the client to make sure the blocks are in the game and has their textures. I was having an issue before. Alright, the test ran fine with the YouTube grass block. The textures are there, and there ain't nothing to worry about that. I figured you guys can just click this and load it up on your own and check if the textures are there. And if they're there, you're good. If they're not there, I'd recommend resetting your Mcreator or re-downloading it. I had an issue a while back about textures not showing, and I always want to make sure they're there. So now that we're back, you want to go into YouTube grass block. And click next, set this to grass. I'm going to set this to 20 for 30 for faster results. You guys want to set it to 220 to 230, maybe even 240, depending on what you want for your grass block, how fast it's going to spread. That's pretty close to what the Minecraft default is set to, around 230-ish. I guess it'd be safe to go ahead and I'll leave that there. Just make sure nothing gets flaky on me. So I'm going to go and click next and next. And now we want to do an update tick. Make sure you're on stacked event, and grass grows during the day. So set this to is day, add event, then go here to random possibility. It does say 50-50 chance. I set it to 28, and I add event on top of that, and go down to the 50-50 chance again and change it to 38. Sorry about that. Then you click add event again, and all these events are just stacking on top of each other. So now we got the random possibility set. Now we go down here to block at the IJK equals item block. Do not click this one, it's this one. And then click set it to error, detect error, above the block that you want to change. So go +1, and then let's do +1 for the I, which is that's XYZ. And one thing I did notice is you need to do .get block and opening and closing for those. I had to add this code. Oh yeah, make sure the B is capitalized, otherwise you'll get an error, it won't work, or you'll load it up and it'll pretend to work and then nothing will happen and you're like, well, what the crap. So just make sure you do not forget this part of the code. It took me a while to find this out, and Mcreator accidentally left it out in their update, I'm assuming, and it won't work without that. So .get block, and make sure B is capital. So then add event. On top of that, go down to lost my train of thought. Okay, got 30%. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Go down to here at the equals item block and have it detect the dirt block. And you need to set this to the +1, then okay, go to add block. That stayed, that's good. And you want to go down to here and have it detect grass. Have, this one detect dirt, and then this one replacing with grass. Not detect, that was my bad. And then do a +1 here as well. And this will detect the block, and this one will place it. We did the error thing back there. Yeah, we did the error thing back there so that it detects an error block, and if it doesn't, then it can't move forward. So that way it can't build to under the ground, so you're not getting dirt turning into grass and making grass on top of a grass block. That's not supposed to happen. And as well as here, you need to do .get block and opening, closing, and then you're done with that. And you click add event, and then click these through, and it shows stacked event, which is all those events that we just created stacked into one. Then you click next and next, and then it's going to do its compiling, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Just loaded up into the world, and I'm going to place a grass block here in the center. If I'm right, it'll grow this way, and it will not grow under this block. This should happen pretty fast. a little bit slower than I expected, but it's completely random, and I know grass takes forever to grow. Give this a little time watching it, and it should not grow under here, because this block here, like the rest of them, are detecting for this air block up here. And then this block here is detecting for air block where this one is. But if it doesn't detect, it can't run the command. The command will stop at the air block because the air block doesn't exist. If I remove this block, it will grow here. It's to prevent from this happening, where it will grow underneath. So that's a start, and now we need to do the opposite direction. This was +1. This way would be -1. And then these are the y coordinates. Negative and then positive. I'm not sure which direction negative and positive is, but I'll figure it out, and I could... Then once we get that done, then we'll work on making it grow sideways, outward. Like, I could do this, and this block will become that over a period of time. But for now, let's just get this other part done. Okay, here's where things get complicated and also a bit simpler. You want to make sure you got the grass block selected and go right here to well, it's not showing it, but it's the source to the code of the grass block. And you want to scroll down here, and here's the code that we installed. So now that you got this direction, you want to take this part of the code. Actually, you want to leave, let's see, you want to take this part of the code, leave this one out because that's the closing for this. Figured leave is day will work for all of these in that case. So copy this, go here, press enter twice, go up one, and then paste. And then instead of +1, you want to set this to a -1. And I am sorry. Do the same for the rest of them. And now it will grow in the opposite direction. And then we will go ahead and take that same code, only 1, 2, 3, 4 of these for each code, 1, 2, 3, 4, copy, because we want this one to continue running on, this top one here, and that'll be the one for the bottom. So click enter 3 times again, and then paste this code again. We want to set this to 0, pretty much that part blank. Then we go over here and do +1 and +1 and +1 at this part of the code. And then take that exact same code, let's copy that, paste it here, and then go over here and go negative, and a negative. Now that was pretty simple. So then we'll go ahead and click save and compile. And then now it's running. Ignore that error right there. I got a problem with my Mcreator where it doesn't close the client. Then I gotta go in Task Manager and manually close it. I don't know how many people have this problem. I'm the only case that I know of, but there's no concerns there. Don't worry about that. Alright, now that we're testing it, now it should be growing in the other directions. There we go. And like I said, it will not grow underground. And apparently that random chance is not running up as often as I like. But yeah, you can fool around with the possibility chances and see what you can come up with. There we go. Now we're going to be setting the corners. So this and that and this will become that, like how this grass grows. Alright, now here's things where they really get tricky. Or at least they used to for me. You want to go back into the source code, and let me resize this. There we go. And scroll down to our code again, and copy the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 codes, and then hit enter 3 times and go paste. And scroll down and go ahead and set these to 0, so you got a fresh slate. And go ahead and copy this as well, so that way you can just reuse the same one again and again. Now here's where things get complicated. I came up with a method to make this a whole lot easier. So these 4 corners is what we're going to be putting in. So we need to do +1 for the X and then +1 for the Z. And then the opposite would be over here, the negatives. And then over here, we're crisscrossing them. +1 and then -1. And then opposite for this corner over here. So we'll be doing it like sorry about that. Alright, we'll be setting this to a +1 and this one to +1 as well. And you want to do the same for these. I will also leave a link in the description for the image that I created. To make this a whole lot easier for you. I apologize. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I keep clicking the wrong buttons. It's okay. You want to go down here and paste this again and do this the opposite, but this time -1, -1, -1, -1, -1, and once again. Okay, so now we got the crisscrossing. So now we got this one here and then this one. Now we need to get this one here and this one. You can do them in any order you want, it doesn't matter. So let's go down here, click enter 3 times again, 2 times, and paste the code, and do +1, +1, +1, oh wait, -1, and then do the same for the rest of them. It's quite simple once you get the hang of it. And you can see your keyboard, unlike me. What did I get for recording in a dark room? Okay. Then we want to copy this and click enter twice again. Paste this in here. And then do the opposites. Negative, and then make this one the positive. Make sure I did that right. Okay. So now we should have it growing in all these directions. But it's only on the base floor itself. At 0 point. We need to make sure it can incline and decline on the hills, which I'll explain in the next part. So for now, go ahead and save and recompile. Alright, I've loaded up in the world again. As you can see, these have grown out, and I figured I'd create this platform to show you. It'll grow in all directions, but not exactly the same time. It'll be kind of random in different directions. It'll just kind of crawl. Alright, that seems to be working great. Now we gotta do the ups and downs for like what you see here. Okay, now go into your source code once again and copy from the CEF statement for the random possibility. Ignore the daytime thing once again, and then highlight all the way down to here, and then stop. Leave this one alone. That's the 5th one for the daylight thing. Go in here, click enter, and then you paste this. Oh wait, do Alt Z if you pasted that. Create a line to mark your spot, then click enter, and then click paste, and scroll up. Alright, this is where you start at. You set the height for the air block detection to 2, and then you set a +1 to the rest of these for the Y, which is J. Set all these to 2, and then these ones to +1. Why does it not want to come out? +1 +1, and continue that all the way down to the bottom of these. Alright, once you did that for every single one of these under your line, you want to go ahead and take this line and delete it, and then bring it up one, and then take what you just created and copy it again, and scroll down and stop at that last one, and leave this one alone once again, copy, then click enter twice, go up one, oh wait, do that line again, click enter, and then paste underneath. Scroll up, now this time you want to go ahead and get rid of these and just leave it as 0, and setting the J coordinate to a -1. Do the same down here. Just do that for all of them down the line. I think you get the idea. Okay, once you completed doing that for the rest of those, double check your work. Just make sure everything's good, and make sure this ends with 5 of these, and you have no more than 4 in between all of these. And scroll up, and like before, take this and delete it, and then backspace it again, so there's only 1 space between here and here, and that's right up against there. Then go ahead and save and recompile. Okay, now I'm loading the world, and this seems to be working great. It will grow uphill and as well as downhill, any direction that I can come up with. Got a little Qbert game starting here. But you get the idea. It'll grow down, it'll grow up now, both directions. But yeah, now we have this issue. Alright, let's let it grow in here. I probably shouldn't have removed the block. That should turn into a dirt block soon. I mean, grass block. Anyway, oh wait, it's night. Alright, we gotta set the day. If you don't want that, you want to grow 24 hours a day, or, well, whatever Minecraft hours are, and just set it for in all cases instead of setting it to is day in the beginning. But yeah, it works now. That's pretty much the basics on creating the grass block. You can do experimenting around, mess around with it a bit. I'm going to show a little more into it at the end. You don't have to watch it. Pretty well done. You can fool around with like the settings, the speed, see what you can come up with. But I recommend, if you want to save it and export it as a MCR file, it will not work because we was editing the source code. I'll show you what you need to do to make sure that it stays if you export this as an MCR file. Like, you want to save it for later and you want to work on another project and then come back to it, your grass code will still exist. And for some reason, when you edit the source code for the block, or any block in that matter, it will not stay. It will eliminate itself when you export it into an MCR file, and then you try to reload that MCR file, and then the code is nowhere to be found. So I'll get to that. Okay, you're gonna need a notepad, and then you want to go ahead and open up your source code again, like so. Then go ahead and scroll up and copy what you have already created from this point down, and stop here. You want to get it all this time, including the isDay code. Copy this and paste it into here, and then save it anywhere on your computer to keep it on hand. You can put it into, like, you go into here, like you're recreating the block, and go here, set this to whatever you want to set it to. We had it at 20 right now, but you want to set it to 230, 240, whatever. And then you want to go here and remove what you have created here by clicking the X, and click Add Event, go to Custom Code, highlight this, and have set to all cases, because you have the isDay code already implemented. Unless you want to add another case, and go right ahead, all means, and click the Add Event, and then this will be all tied in. And so when you export it as a MCR file, it will keep that code. Now, one thing I wanted to kind of go over is, this isn't a perfect grass block yet. The growing rate is fine, but the one main thing is, when your grass block has another block above it, it turns to dirt. And this is kind of a pain in the butt to mess with. So we're going to go click Next, and go down to the grass block, set the tick rate to whatever you wanted, and click Next. Go ahead and do what I said to do. Click the X here, click Add Event, do the custom code. Go ahead and put this code in so that way you don't lose it. And then click Add Event. That code will stay there forever now. Then click Add Event again. This is something entirely new. You want to make sure in all cases, so you can just go down here to Add Block and have it detect, and you want to go down. Now this part sucks. You want to go down every single one of these blocks, except for like saplings or, you know, blocks that doesn't affect dirt. You can experiment around in Minecraft. I'm pretty sure you can get almost all of them, if not all of them, here in Mcreator. Like the wood, that covers all the wood there is. The sand, both colors. Well, we'll go ahead and do stone. We'll just cover that, and then you gotta make sure you cover your own mod. So you put dirt, and that's just to go ahead and do, let's say, grass block. So it's going to detect a grass block above itself. If it detects grass block, you don't change anything here, it will turn itself to dirt. And don't forget to add this code, .get block, and opening and closing, and click Add Event. Now let's go ahead and click Next and compile this as well. And once this is done, we want to go into the code, and the old code should be there, but there will be a new code. It will be at the bottom or the top. That will be the new code we just added, and we want to copy that. And we can probably go into the Minecraft folder, mod, go over, don't take, click Add, and then here, scroll down, go to this, pick a block, but just sit there and read what this says here. It says block stone. That's the code you'll be using. Block grass, cobblestone, lava, bedrock, sand. Just make sure it's spelt right. You don't have to actually make every single code by going in here back and forth. Just do that copy and paste thing, And you can bring this up and as well have the source code up at the exact same time. And you can just copy the words back and forth. Yeah, and you can highlight this and do Alt C, which will copy it, and then paste them in one by one. The compile is done. I need to close this one and go back into the source code, resize this for the recording screen, scroll down, and must be at the bottom. There it is. Now this is the code we want, and right here, this is my original code for the mod I'm making called Ender Cave. But I got it set to the in sea lantern, snow, emerald block, redstone, quartz, and then my mod blocks. And there is a difference between, let's see, like right here it says block.emerald underscore block. But down here for like my farmland that I'm working on, and I'm using the exact same method I'm using for this grass block for the farmland. It's a Mcreator underscore and then the name of your block and then dot block. And you just do that for every single type of block there is in Minecraft. So when you copy this, there should be another enter there. Well, it was loading fine. I might as well leave it as it is. And then copy this, go under here, click enter twice, go up one, paste it, and then alright, this is set to YouTube grass. Well, it's set to YouTube dirt. So now it's set to YouTube grass and YouTube dirt. And let's go ahead and just save and compile that, and then I'll load up in Minecraft and show you what it does. And I'm sure you can figure out programming the rest of the blocks in from Minecraft into it. It'll take a little long process, and this video has gone on long enough and I'm tired tonight. Okay, now let's test that theory. Alright, we gotta, let's say, 2 grass blocks. We'll put dirt on top of this one and put grass on top of this one. They both turned into dirt. So now we got a grass block that grows and also will downgrade to dirt because of being suffocated, in other words. So now it works perfectly. I wish you guys luck, and thanks for watching my tutorial. It's been kind of fun.